I've heard this before, I think.
Our friend Caroline is going to hold the microphone for me because I need to turn my notepad and put on my glasses. Right, I don't know whether you all know that Stuart is in fact my Tory boy. I'm 11 and a half months older than him, so I always look forward to the 2 weeks of the year when we're the same age. So before next week I overtake him yet again, I'd like to welcome him to the happy band of sexagenarians, of whom there are a few select members here tonight, apart from myself. Stuart and I met in our late 30s, so I wasn't party to any of the antics of his dissolute years, early years in Brussels, and I'm sure there's plenty of stories you've been made not to tell me. But meeting and gelling at that age meant that things happened pretty fast. And within 2 years we were married and were then blessed with the arrival of our two wonderful boys, Alistair and Andrew. I think Stuart would agree with me that they're our greatest achievement. Well, I have to say that it's not easy becoming Mrs. Stuart Cummings. Stuart is somebody who acts with his head as much as with his heart. And he needed to see if I was suitable wife material. Outwardly, well, I was passable. Didn't quite resemble the back of a bus. I had a good job, steady income, but he needed to know a bit more if we were compatible. Now, you've probably heard in your studies of Greek mythology about the 12 labours of Hercules. Well, I had to undergo the 7 labours of Stucky. And I'll go through these with you. First of all, I had to show an keen interest in all things Scottish. Well, that was pretty easy because being half Scottish myself, that was already guaranteed. Then I had to show my skills at Scottish country dancing. Well, I demonstrated this pretty early on because on the night that we met in a bar called the Console, I think, in Rue by midnight, we'd already organised an impromptu strip the willow and sent all the glasses flying. Then, third task, I had to cook a range of dishes. Now, I wasn't bad at this either because, you might not believe this, but many moons ago I actually could cook before those skills were put to sleep with the overtaking of my skills by Stuart's amazing culinary talents. In fact, I'm not even allowed to cook anymore. And I must be the only woman in this room, and maybe the only woman in Belgium, and maybe the only woman in the whole world who regularly has to say to her husband, "Stop, don't feed me anymore. I don't want any more gourmet meals. I'm going to burst." Now, things began to get a little more tricky with test number 4. I had to play a round of golf. I first wielded a golf club in the practice nets in St Andrews when I was an undergraduate, but I never really moved on from there. So, to put it mildly, I'm pretty erratic on a golf course. Stuart bluffed my way onto the fairways of Keerbag, and I managed to get round okay, apart from losing a few balls in the lake. But the real test came with labour number 5. I had to climb a Munro. And the mountain Stuart chose was Ben More on the island of Mull. It was a day in August, beautiful, sunny, but there was this suspicious mist or cloud up on the top of the mountain. My little legs started to give out after we descended a few hundred metres, and I said to Stuart, "Leave me here and pick me up on the way back." To which he ominously replied, "I'm not coming back this way." So I toiled on. The path he assured me led to the summit soon petered out, and we found ourselves scrambling over rocks. "Take out the gloves I told you to bring," says Stuart. So I obediently went into my rucksack and pulled out my beautiful little white wool gloves with pearls stitched round the edges. scrambling up rocks, and needless to say, they were soon shred to bits. I was ecstatic when I got to the summit and thought my miseries were over. Not so fast, said Stuart. Ben Moore has 2 summits. The real summit is over there. And he indicated another peak about a mile away along a narrow ridge no wider than a few feet. I traversed this ridge in the mist with a mountain falling away sharply to either side, and I swear to God I saw vultures circling. But somehow I got there in the end. So any of you foolhardy people who are thinking of accompanying Stuart on his last Monroe, you are hereby warned. Tasks 6 and 7. Well, these were of a more personal nature, so I won't go into them here, but suffice it to know that I passed them with flying colours.
Yeah, brought that. One of them tiny things. Yeah, which one? This one.
Now you'll probably realise that friends to Stuart are extremely important. And this extends to ex-girlfriends. A friend of Stuart's is a friend for life. That's probably why we went on our honeymoon with 2 of his ex-girlfriends. And I just brought along an ex-boyfriend of mine to redress the balance. We're all still very good friends. Anyway, some couples enter a prenuptial contract, usually to sort out their financial affairs. Well, Stuart and I entered an unwritten prenuptial contract about how we would spend our time. And he had to have his time for hill walking in Scotland, for his trips with his old farts friends to play golf, for games of golf in Scotland with his old university friends, seeing his family and so on. Well, that was fine by me because it meant that I, as a counterpart to that, had plenty of time to pursue my theatrical interests, which I'm still doing and he's still tolerating. Yesterday we marked our 22nd wedding anniversary, and romance is not dead. For Christmas, he gave me an anti-snoring pillow, which he brought all the way from the United States. Now, I think this is quite touching, because it would have been very easy for him just to disappear off to the spare room, but he did everything to keep us in the marital bed. The only trouble is, we both need it, so we fight over it. Anyway, Stuart, thank you for all the love and support that you've given me over the years. There's been a lot of fun and a lot of laughter, some bad times as well, but we've always worked through those, and I think emerged stronger and more united. And I look forward to the next 20 years. I hope I'll be around there to make sure that you don't turn from a boring old fart into a farting old bore.